Hey everybody, Bart here with Tully Television, and today we're going to be getting into a new segment that I want to try to give a go here, and it's just going to be spotlighting certain wrestlers that have made an impact on my life or have been a fan of throughout the years, and that's what we're doing today. And I want to take the time out though to thank everyone for stopping by, liking, commenting, sharing, hitting that like button, subscribing, all that beautiful YouTube stuff. I hope that today is the day I earn your subscription, because if it is, hit that red subscribe bar down below and let's get into it. Maybe you'll learn something new about a wrestler today. Today, the first wrestling spotlight I want to give to is Sherri Scroll. You might be like, who's that? Who's Sherri Schroll, born February 8th, 1958? Uh, that's easy. Her name is Sensational Sherri, or Sherri Martel, or Scary Sherri, or Sensual Sherri. Um, what other, a ton of other nicknames. This woman, uh, was in the time period of when, like, Miss Elizabeth was around, the Fabulous Moolah. I always found that Sensational Sherri was a good dichotomy, a good opposite, a good polar to Miss Elizabeth, because Miss Elizabeth was the meek and naive woman who always stood by her man no matter what. And Sensational Sherri, Scary Sherri, would beat you, beat your butt. If if whoever she was managing threw them out the ring, she would scratch them, slap them, kick them, anything that she could to help her guy win the match or have her win the match. She also was a wrestler. But as I mentioned, she was born February 8th, 1958. She first came across Grizzly Adams when she was 16 because she used to go to shows with her mother to avoid babysitting her sister, and the mother would go to these wrestling events, and eventually Sherri began to like going. When she was 16, she approached Grizzly Adams, Grizzly Smith. I keep saying Grizzly Adams, Grizzly Smith, and he told her, "Come back in 5 years." So in those 5 years, she ended up getting married, divorced, having a son, and decided to give this wrestling thing a go again. She went to Grizzly Smith again, and he basically was telling her, like, "Oh, you want to get into wrestling, whatever, whatever, whatever." He sent her to Butch Moore. There's a story in which she's sent to Butch Moore, who was leading a promotion, and she's saying, "Oh, I want to get in the business and all this," and he's like, "Oh, you think you got what it takes?" And he gets up and he gives her a full smack across the face, and she brushes it off, and she's like, "Is that all you got?" He's like, "You're hired." You know what I mean? Um, this lady was very determined. She was also very. Uh, some of parts of her life had been sad. The husband she was with would commit domestic uh, violence on her, and I didn't come across too much about her son. The son sounds like he's trying to keep that distant from himself, and his mother. Unless I'm missing something there that I haven't come across in my research. She managed such WWE legends as HBK, Ted DiBiase. While in WCW, she Valet managed Harlem Heat, who was one of the top tag teams of all time. Um, let's see, she managed her last appearance was in 2007 as a manager for Bobby Roode in TNA. In the AWA, she won the women's title 3 times. In the WWE, she won the women's title, winning it off of Fabulous Moolah, and then a year and a half later losing it to Rockin' Robin. She always knew when to change character, when to change appearance, when to evolve into that next version of herself. Um, she was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2006 by Ted DiBiase. She did a Japan tour. She was in about every promotion you can think of, ECW, WCW, WWF, and there wasn't a bad word said about her. The only vice that she seemed to really have was to party, and that eventually led to her passing. Um, she passed of drug overdose on June 15th, 2007. So 15, 16 years ago. And the wrestling world took a hit. She was only in her 40s. She could have still very well been around doing things for companies. But um, I always have to think about the tremendous pain that people must feel mentally and emotionally to continue to let narcotics take control of you in such a latter stage of life. I grew up in these type of situations. I myself have had issues with alcohol and substances in the past because of the pain I would feel in my life over certain issues. So I can certainly relate to why people want to escape their life, but doesn't make it any less sad that they succeed in what they're attempting, which was to end the pain. And in ending the pain, you also have ended any possibility of life, and that's really the saddest part about it. And it wasn't done intentionally, it was an accidental overdose, but the impact she made on so many superstars, on so many stories. She was instrumental in turning Macho Man back into a babyface and reuniting Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man, the Macho Man Randy Savage. Um, and they ended up getting married. That whole story kicked off from Sherri turning on the Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth coming down and doing her little and her and Macho Man got back together. So, she was instrumental in a lot of different storylines. Again, her and Harlem Heat. I thought that was always Sister Sherri. That she was Sister Sherri when she was managing them. I thought that was a good little. They had good chemistry together there. Um, she worked. She was a tough lady, and I hope that certain aspects of her life, women in wrestling can look up to and aspire to be, or even women in real life. Um, you take her strengths and you can use them as a goal for yourself. And yeah, that's my wrestling spotlight. First one, it goes to Sensational Sherri. She was one of my first really wrestling crushes outside of Mrs. Elizabeth. I'm not gonna lie, she taught me that a woman doesn't always have to be meek and mild in order to be attractive. You know what I mean? Her flamboyancy, her larger than life presence is what I think attracted a lot of people to her as fans. as a talent, as a person, and um, I think she'll always be remembered on some sort of level. I hope so. I hope that people will come across her work and watch her matches, watch her promos, watch her ring work as a manager. It's all on a different level at that time than what other females were doing at the time. And she colored me impressed after all these years, still later, that I'm still in my mid 40s, late 40s, and I'm still on Sensational Sherri being one of the top female talents in wrestling. Um, Especially if you can extrapolate what she would be willing to do today, or what she'd be able to be willing to do today, if plucked from that time and put it into this time. A lot of these ladies would be in trouble. You know what I mean? She may not be big and bulky like a Eva Mendes, or anything like that, technical like Charlotte Flair. But she's a brawler. She's a brawler, and she will kick your butt, man, woman, uh, manager, wrestler, whatever, fan. But I hope that today you learned a little bit something about Sensational Sherri. I hope that this inspires you to go check out. If you're gonna watch any match, check out her match against Rock and Robin for the title. That was pretty nifty match. Uh, Rock and Robin started getting bigger on that time. But yeah, that's my suggestion for a match to watch of her. Um, if you're looking for promos, she's always, you can look up any promo of hers and it'd be gold. You know, she I can't sing her praises enough. I can't. But that's my wrestling spotlight number one. I hope that I could have entertained you today. And if I have, hit that red subscribe bar down below if you have yet to do that. Hit the like button. And until next time, peace, Nuggums.